Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a TG deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this deck is an extremely fun synchro deck that can make some absolutely incredible boards. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like your name, description, every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Rocket Salamander. This card is definitely a 3-of in the deck and an absolutely broken card. It has the ability to contribute a TG monster to special summon a TG monster from your deck with a different original name than the tributed monster, which is a really powerful effect to basically use this card as the Lone Fire Blossom of the deck to instantly get the exact monster you want on your side of the field. Also, if you control a machine TG monster, you can actually target a level 4 lower TG monster in your graveyard and special summon a defense position but negate its effects, which is an awesome ability to be able to use. We then play 2 copies of Screw Serpent. Screw Serpent is really good in the deck, but I feel like 2 copies is really all you need. This card has the ability, if it's normal or special summon, you can target a level 4 or lower TG monster in your graveyard and special summon that monster, but its effects are negated, which is an awesome ability to be able to use with your copy of Rocket Salamander to basically tribute your copy of Rocket Salamander and instantly get this card out on your side of the field, and then use your copy of Screw Serpent to instantly bring back Rocket Salamander back to your side of the field, letting you go in for a synchro play. We then play 2 copies of Gear Zombie. Gear Zombie is really cool as a 2-of in the deck because this card is basically an extender for the build that lets you target a TG monster you control and special summon this card from the hand. Then the targeted monster loses 1,000 attack points, which is not that big of a deal. You're basically just dropping a monster down to be able to go in for a synchro play. We then play a single copy of Grub Tank. Grub Tank is really cool as a 1-of extender in the deck, as if this card you control is used as a synchro material for a TG monster, you can treat this card as a non-tuner or as a tuner, which is great to help you go for the exact synchro play that you need. Also, if this card is sent to the graveyard as a synchro material for a TG monster, you can special summon a TG token that's a Machine Earth level 1, 0 attack and 0 defense and attack position, giving you an additional monster out on your side of the field to go for more synchro plays. And then a single copy of Warwolf. Warwolf is really good as a 1-of in the deck, just as an extender, because when a level 4 or lower monster is special summoned, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is a great effect to instantly get this card out on your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Drillfish. Drillfish is also a really good 1-of in this build because this card has the ability to attack your opponent directly, which is a really interesting effect for this card to have. And if all monsters that you control are TG monsters, minimum 1, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is a really cool ability. And when a TG monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it, which is a great effect since this card can actually attack your opponent directly and then just destroy a monster. We then play a single copy of Booster Raptor. Booster Raptor is really cool as a 1-of in the deck, and I really like this card as an extender in the build, as if you control a TG monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and also once per turn during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed on the field and sent there this turn, you can add a TG monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, which is a pretty interesting effect for this card to have, but I really like this card as a 1-of in the build, it's just a really cool extender. We then play 3 copies of Diabellstar. Diabellstar is really cool to be able to play as an engine in this deck because it helps you get to your copy of Rocket Salamander because of original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye, because you can summon this card out to your side of the field, and once you do that, you can then use its effect to set your copy of original Sinful Spoils to your side of the field, so you can use it to summon out your copy of Rocket Salamander, basically turning it into an engine card, which is really cool. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is really good as a 3-of in the build just to stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is really good at stopping your opponent's monster effects. We then play a single copy of Droll and a single copy of Nibiru. I feel like these are the only hand traps that you really need, as we are playing Crossset Designator in this build, so it's really important to be able to stop different hand traps in this deck, and I feel like Nibiru is one of the most important ones to stop, and Droll is also a really good card to be able to stop, because you're going to be searching the deck quite a lot in this deck, so this card is really good in the build to be able to basically just stop your opponent in their tracks from activating a Droll, so you can change this card out for a different hand trap that you feel like is more impactful for your particular format or particular like decks you're playing against. But I feel like Nibiru is one of the most important ones to stop, but Droll is just really good as well to stop, to be able to use against your opponent or to stop being used against you cards like Crossout Designator. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get in to the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of 1 for 1. 1 for 1 is really good in the deck as a 1-up to instantly get your copy of Rocket Salamander out to your side of the field. It's just so important to be able to get it out on your side of the field so you can start your plays. We then play a single copy of Original Sinful Spool Snake Eye. This card is great in the deck as a 1-up to be able to use their copy of Diabellstar, because this card lets you send one other face-up card you control to the graveyard, which could be your copy of Diabellstar that's on your side of the field when you set this, to be able to special summon a level 1 fire monster from your hand or deck, which is always going to be your copy of Rocket Salamander, that you're going to instantly get out on your side of the field, which is very important to be able to get onto your side of the field so you can go full combo. But this card is very important in the deck as a 1-up just to help you get to your copy of Rocket Salamander. We then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is great in this deck as 1-up to basically just stop your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play 2 copies of TG All Clear. This card is really cool as a 2-of in the deck. This card has the ability that all TG monsters on the field become machine monsters, and during your main phase, you can normal summon a TG monster in addition to your normal summoner set, which is a great ability for this deck to have to instantly get an additional normal summon, and also, during your main phase, you can destroy one TG monster in your hand or field, and if you add a TG monster with a different name from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is a pretty cool effect to instantly grab the exact TG that you need. We then play 3 copies of TG Limiter Removal. This card is very interesting for the deck and has the ability that you can discard a card to add 2 TG monsters with different names from your deck to your hand, which is an insane ability to instantly grab 2 TGs off this card's effect. And also you manage this card from the graveyard and then target a TG monster in your grave, shuffle in the deck, and if you control a machine TG, you can add it to your hand instead, which is a pretty cool effect to instantly grab a TG. This card is an amazing searcher for the build and just definitely a 3-of to help you get into your plays. We then play 3 copies of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator works with all the different hand traps that we play in the build to basically make sure that we're not going to get hand trapped while we're trying to go for all of our plays. We then play 3 copies of Wanted. Wanted is really important again as a 3-of in the build to basically just search out your copy of Diabellstar, because this card plus your copy of any other card in your hand is basically full combo, because you activate this, grab Diabellstar, summon Diabellstar by sending a card, and then once you do, you set your Original Sinful Spools, and then you go from there because you can instantly get your copy of Rocket Salamander using Original Sinful Spools, which is so cool. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of TG Close. TG Close is really cool as a 1-of in the deck, because when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated, well, you control a machine TG monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. And if a synchro monster is banished while this card's in the graveyard, you can set this card but banish and release the field, giving you a double negate, which is really, really cool. We then also play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is really good in the deck just to stop your opponent's monster effects, but you can also use this card as a Crossout Designator target to make sure that your plays are going to go through. This card is a really powerful hand trap overall to basically just set to your side of the field, lock down entire columns of spells and traps, and use it to be able to negate monster effects. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start with a single copy of TG Glaive Blaster. This card is an insane boss monster for the deck that must be synchro summon, and quick effect, you can actually target a monster on the field, special summon from the extra deck, and banish it. And you can also use this effect a number of times per turn up to the number of non-tuner synchro monsters used for this card's material for this card summon. And also once per turn, if a monster is banished face up, except during the damage step, you can target one of them and special summon it to your field, ignoring its summoning conditions, which is an insane effect to be able to use. We have a single copy of the Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon is really good in the deck as a 1/0 because it helps you summon out your copy of Cosmic Blazar Dragon. Cosmic Blazar is just so cool to be able to summon in this deck, and it's really an awesome boss monster to be able to make because you can summon out your copy of Glaive Blaster and then make your copy of Crimson Dragon and use Crimson Dragon to help you summon out your copy of your Cosmic Blazar, which is so cool to be able to use, especially since it's one of Yusei's ace monsters. We have a single copy of Blade Blaster. Blade Blaster is great in this deck as a 1/0 to be able to make, and it's just a really cool boss monster overall. We have a single copy of Satellite Warrior. Satellite Warrior is great because it helps us pop multiple cards on the field, and it's just a really cool card overall in the deck to help you just summon out and pop multiple monsters or multiple cards on the field, and it comes out absolutely massive. And we have a single copy of Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. This card is great because it helps you bring back a tuner that's level 2 or lower from your graveyard back to your side of the field on Synchro Summon, and it's just a great card overall to help you extend your plays. You play a single copy of TG Hyper Librarian. This card is great because every time you Synchro Summon, you get to draw a card, which is awesome. We play a single copy of Power Gladiator. Power Gladiator is great just as basically a level 5 monster you can summon to your side of the field, and then step into more Synchro plays using this card as a material, and also it's just a really good card overall in the deck. We then play 2 copies of Over Dragnar. Dragnar is great as a boss monster for this deck, and just a really cool card in this build. And if this card is Synchro Summon, you can special summon any number of TG monsters from your graveyard and defense position. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest turn except TG monsters, which is totally fine. This card is basically Soul Charge, which is crazy, and it's a really, really good card in this deck just to instantly bring out multiple monsters to your side of the field. And it's awesome in this deck to be able to summon out basically just to Soul Charge a bunch of cards to your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Wonder Magician. Wonder Magician is great in this deck because this card is really good at helping you Synchro Summon, as it is a tuner Synchro monster. And if this card is Synchro Summon, you can target a spell or trap on the field and destroy it. And if this card's on the field is destroyed, you get to draw a card, and once retained during your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect, immediately effect resolves, Synchro Summon using this card you control. You play a single copy of Star Guardian. Star Guardian is great in the deck as a 1/0, just to help you step into all sorts of different plays. And this card has the ability once per turn during your opponent's main phase, quick effect, immediate effect resolves. You can also Synchro Summon using this card you control, which is a really cool ability. And only use each of the following effects card once per turn. If this card is special summon, you can target a TG monster in your grave and add it to your hand. And during your main phase, you can special summon a TG monster from your hand, which is a pretty cool ability. We then play 2 copies of Mighty Striker. I really like this card as a 2/0 in the deck because it has the ability once per turn during the opponent's main phase, quick effect, immediate effect results. You get to Synchro Summon using this card you control, which is a really cool ability to instantly go in for a Synchro play. And if this card is Synchro Summon, you can add a TG spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And if this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, send a TG card from your deck to the grave, which is such a powerful ability. And then finally, a single copy of Trident Launcher. Trident Launcher is just really good as a 1/0 in the build. I only feel like you need a single copy of this card. As it has the ability, if it's Link Summon, you can special summon 3 TG monsters, 1 from your hand, deck, and graveyard. And defense position to zones this card points to. Also, you can add special summon monsters for rest turn except TG, which is totally fine, but just helps you get a bunch of monsters on your side of the field so you can go in for your Synchro plays. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have not played TG, you should definitely give this deck a try. It's such a fun Synchro deck, and it's so cool to be able to step into Glaive Blaster, which is such a cool card. And it's just a really cool deck overall, just to help you Synchro Summon into some really cool cards. And it's so consistent to help you bring out your monsters. So, that's good for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.